Okay, now S3s and your work for Monday and Tuesday this week, you're looking at population distribution again, a bit more detail, why people live where they do. Your first task is to watch the video in the Google Doc. That'll tell you a little about population density through the world of Minecraft. That's something you might be aware of. And then you want to think about where you live. What would you look for if you're choosing a place to live? And we covered this a little bit in our chat the other week, and we talked about, I think Leela brought a point up about looking for near a river, so you had water, and that would be more about settlement factors. But what other things would you look for about where you live? And you're not thinking about necessarily settlement. What things in a modern day world would you want to have nearby? So when you're older, you'll get to decide where you're going to live, obviously, in the world, and you really have to have a think about that yourselves. And there will be reasons or factors that encourage you to live in a place and not. And that's kind of the kind of things we're talking about. Task 3, incidentally, you are writing all your answers around this document. You'll need to add text boxes if you want to make this kind of mind map style, or you can write underneath this diagram, you can just add text and write your answers out. Task 3, push and pull factors. We've talked about these before in first and second year as well. They're things that push you away from a place, so undesirable things, negatives, and things that pull you towards a place. And they link to migration really well. We've looked at them in slums before, but really here we're linking push-pull factors to this idea of what really is desirable in a place, what's going to encourage you, what's maybe a physical, natural reason to go to a place, or even maybe a human reason that there's really lots of jobs available in the city because there's lots of industry, for example, or different types of jobs to go and do, or they live next to a port on a coastal area, natural geography, and it means that there's going to be lots of trades, jobs that link to it. Superstar geographers will try and use name examples from countries to really improve your answer. And that's following this trend that we teach in school about making a point, explaining your point if it's an explained question, and then expanding with a specific fact or a named example. What's a pull factor? Hopefully you can remember that's something that pulls you towards a place, makes something more desirable to go and live there. And you can maybe develop your answer a little further with that. Question 4, can you name 3 examples of pull factors? Superstar geographers will use named examples again. So it's that same idea. Task 4, watch the video on the link. That is, you can click on that and that will work for you. And the video speaks about positives of living next to a river. Would you build your house next to a river? Yes, no, why? Try and explain. Don't just give a point. Yes, no, say why. What is the difference between a physical factor and a human factor, which affects the distribution of people or where people live? So maybe you can tell us that. Task 5, factors influencing population distribution. So what factors are there? Now I have it actually attached as well as a PowerPoint which is there, lots of pictures to help you think about it and come up with as many ideas as you can. And that's the main thing you're looking at. You're going to make a spider diagram from that, or you can put a list of bullet points down in this document underneath this activity. Give it a title, or in fact just underneath task 5, you can just carry on here with a list of 10 bullet points. And make sure you put the factor down first, and then you need to say why it would affect something living there. And this why bit is really our explanation, and something you're asked to do at national law. The difference between describe and explain. Describe is what something looks like or what it is, that's the point, and explain is giving the reason, or you may be using the word because, and if you've used the reason for this or because in there, then you have explained. So i.e. it's, or e.g. it's too warm so, or therefore instead of because, or it's too dirty and so therefore people do or don't, and there are not enough jobs therefore. There's also a little bit for revision support there, and you can use that if you're stuck with task 5. And the additional support for task 5 is that document I've attached, which is a past paper question from 2017, and there's model answers there on that topic as well to let you see the detail we're looking for, and that might help you for your notes for next year, for those of you taking National Geography, and I hope lots of you will. Okay, if there are any questions, as always, please get in touch with me on Google Classroom. We'll have a comment here. So there's plenty of work for you to be getting on with. If you feel you've finished or you need something more, please ask for any extension work and I can send that out to you. So that's for 2 lessons this week. That's for Monday and Tuesdays, and I'll give you something else for our Thursday lesson.